meeting to order. It is 6:02. And I got to read that thing, huh? Okay. It's an open meeting of the Library Building and Planning Committee being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted to the town's website, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded. So for this meeting, we're going to be by Zoom. It's posted by the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. All of us are. Let's see. So I am just going to call everyone out and just say here when I call your name. Beth?
Here.
Lisa?
Here.
Prabhu?
Here.
Doug?
Here.
John?
Here.
Julie?
Here.
And Andy? Andy Jefferson.
Here.
Thank you. Okay. So we are just going to go straight into the bills. So Mark, do you want to start that?
Actually, yeah, Andy, do you have the pay app, and then Ron and I can do the PCOs? Do you have a copy of that?
I do, in fact, have a copy of the pay app.
So while Andy's pulling this up, there's a change order that goes with this pay app. So we'll walk you through this. This pay app isn't dollar-wise, it isn't much, but it does clean up a lot of things at the end of the project and gets us current, which you'll see is a good thing, and kind of sets the tone for hopefully resolution to some of these outstanding proposals.
Right. So the dollar amount for the pay app, which is number 25, is $10,446.58. And Mark, as you said, I think this zeroes out all of the retainage, right? And there's some remaining. There's a balance to finish, but you guys can talk about that. But this
Yep.
in terms of base contract, this I think zeroes everything out.
For the most part, yes, it leaves a balance for some remaining punch list items. It leaves a balance for veterans who were having that controls related issue. But the biggest thing it does, and was this pay app circulated to the group?
No,
Okay.
No, sorry. I can send
All
it
right, so
over now.
So when everybody sees it, if what it actually does, and Andy, if you can confirm, but I think this is accurate. When the project started, we had the unsuitable soils. We ended up issuing 3 separate CCDs, construction change directives, for a lot of money, as you remember. That's where most of the contingency went. Now the project's done. Formal PCOs were never submitted against those CCDs. And raise your hand if you're getting confused, but ultimately, the total value of the work that was done, the total value of the PCOs is less than the CCDs that we've been carrying in the budget from the beginning. So what this pay app does is there's a change order wrapped into this that reconciles the difference between the CCDs and the PCOs, and that difference is roughly minus $70,000. So while the CTA is only looking for $10,000 in this pay app, what's really happening behind the scenes is we're cleaning up all those balances. And so what really happens is the contract has gone down by roughly $70,000. So, which means the budget or the contingency has gone up by that same amount. So this is a good way to go out the door, so to speak, at the end of the project with money that we knew was there, and we've just been waiting to the end to kind of clean everything up.
Right. And if I can just add to that for a second. So to compound the good news, I'm going through the cost report right now, and there are some line items in there that I've been carrying a final projected number, if you will, that's actually turning out to be higher in some cases than the actual build amount, which means that we're going to see that get even better as we get through all these final things. I don't want to say too much before I'm done going through all this stuff, because I still want to circle back with the town administrator's office to make sure I'm not missing anything, and circle through with Beth again to make sure we've caught everything, and then again with Mark and Ron as well to make sure we've got everything. But the numbers are going in the right direction. I don't think we'll have our last committee meeting in Aruba, but I think that we'll be I think we'll be doing okay. So at the very least, the numbers are going in the right direction.
For the minutes, I didn't get it, Andy. I'm sorry. It's change order number what?
25.
25, thank you. And how much? 10,004 is where I stopped.
I'll get it for you.
Sorry.
No, that's all good.
It's pay app number 25.
It's-
It's the-
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
they
pay
have-
application.
Oh, thank you.
25. Yep.
I'm gonna get rid
And-
of the change order then. Okay.
And
Yes.
then the amount is 10,446.58.
5.8. Oh,
There it is.
hold on. Yeah, I just lost it. 5.8. Okay, great.
And Andy, while you've got that up, if you can scroll to the last page. So you'll see at the very bottom there, that in the red, and that is the give back, so to speak, between the CCDs and the PCO, the final PCOs.
Right.
And so it ends up to be a net roughly of 71,000.
Good news.
Yep.
So this pay application was decreased by that amount.
Correct.
The original pay app before we revised this was 80 some odd $1,000.
Right.
So that's where the savings comes back to they're not going to write a check. This is how the money gets back into the budget.
Right.
Mhm.
Do we
Okay.
need- Do we need a motion?
Mhm.
Like
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
so-
like a bill, okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we pay payout number 25 in the amount of $10,446.58.
I'll second.
Okay, does anybody have any questions before we vote?
I do have a question, Mary.
Sure.
So I'm not following Andy D. If you could, if you don't mind, can you explain again? Are we getting back? Are we saving 10,000 or 70,000? What is exactly happening to the box? In your job cost report? Is it going to turn from with enough money? Are we no longer in the red? How should I understand that?
Mark, what was the number? What was the delta that we're getting the give back?
Just over 71,000.
Right. So yeah, probably that's just over $70,000 in the positive towards us, right? So the bill is decreasing by that much. This requisition was going to be 80,000 plus or minus, and now it's 10,000.
Okay, so in the job cost report that you used to send, in the bottom line, if it was, hypothetically speaking, if it was 70K in the red, now it would not be 70K in the red because we are not paying out that 70K.
Correct. We were already carrying the higher numbers for these PCOs, and now we're carrying the lower number. So yes, the bottom line goes up, gets better by 70,000.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else have questions? Okay, we're gonna do vote by roll call. Beth,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Prabhu,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Andy J.
Aye.
And Mary, aye. Okay, I declare the motion carried. Do you have some more bills, Mark?
Some more PCOs.
Okay,
So proposed changes. We've got 4 PCOs to look at or discuss or act on. So we've got a follow-up meeting this Wednesday with CTA, and they're chipping away at the punch list, and they're also waiting for us to get back to them on these PCOs. Are they going to do them? Are they not? What's the status and so forth? So the first one is the gate at the bottom of the stairs as you come in the building. If you remember, we talked about Ron had proposed a revised gate that weighed a little less and it cost a lot more. It was about $9,000. And the consensus the last time we met was we started down this path because of the weight of the original gate. And so somebody asked the reasonable question, well, how much does this new gate weigh? So we went back to CTA, and these are rough guesses, but they're done with a little, thought. Was the existing gate weighs just north of 200 pounds. The new gate's going to probably weigh about 100 pounds. So it's going to weigh less. It's still going to have some heft to it. So it's not going to be a lightweight, flimsy door, but it's going to weigh 100 pounds, and roughly it was $9,000. So that's the question before the committee is, do we want, so the original gate is there, the one you've already bought is on site. Do we just want to direct CTA to install it as originally designed, or do we want to go this route with the revised gate, which weighs a little less and looks a little different than the original gate?
does somebody want to start? Andy? Andy J?
With the reduced weight, do we still need the wheel?
The revised design does not have a wheel. That's why we initially went in this direction.
Right.
Can I ask Andy's, Dee's thought on this?
He's the one who got us in this mess.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's why I would like to know. What do you think?
It had to go there. I still think it's a good idea to go with the lighter. It's half the weight, which is not insubstantial. I think it's probably safer for staff to swing open and close. And I think it's, not going to mar the floor. So I'm just one person's opinion, but I still think it's the right thing to do. And with the money is trending in the right direction as well. So I don't love the cost, but I think it's, at the end of the day, it's worth it.
So thank you. Is it 9,000 even? Like, what's the real amount?
The real amount is, bear with me, $9,296.03.
And that's installed as well, or is that just the gate?
Correct. No, it's installed.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion just to get the conversation going. Is that okay, Mary? I make
Sure.
a motion that we pay PCO number,
120, no, hold on.
115.
115. Yeah,
115
115 R1.
R1, all right, in the amount of $9,296.03 for the 100-pound gate.
I'll second it, but I think we want to approve it, not pay it. We want to approve it so that select board will
Right.
sign off
Oh,
on it.
I'm sorry, I make a
Can we
motion
amend
to
that?
approve the PCO number 115 R1 in the amount of $9,296.03.
Second.
Great, thank you. Beth, can you chime in on this? Do you think it's a better solution?
I do. I guess my only lingering concern is we put in the 100-pound gate and it starts to warp because there's no support. And then we throw a wheel on it and it scratches the floor anyway. But I think staff will be happier and more comfortable moving a 100-pound item on a swing than a 200-pound item. So I'm in favor of a lighter gate.
Okay. Andy?
What's the fabrication and installation time on this?
Let me see if he showed the lead time. He doesn't. It's a millwork item, so and there's not a lot to it. But I don't want to speak for the subcontractor, so no, it doesn't specifically say. We can find that out from CTA. But it's a fabricated item, so we don't have to wait 6 months for parts to come in. It's just something they're going to make.
As long as they can get the raw materials.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so we're currently on hiatus for programming and meeting rooms because of the Omicron outbreak. So the only thing having a delay does is it limits our ability to make money doing after hours or weekend programming. And the solution is if there's someone who really wants to rent the room when we're ready to be renting the room and blocking off the rest of the library again, they'd have to pay a staff member to be present. So it's not having the gate right now really isn't hanging us up from using the library because we're not doing meetings right now anyway.
Right.
So if it's another 6 months, it's okay.
But we don't want it to be 6 months.
No.
No,
I didn't say hopefully it's not
Yeah.
another 6 months.
Okay, any other questions?
I have, Mary, can I go?
Yes.
My thought is, first of all, I'm no gate expert, guys. I can tell you that I'm not a gate expert. But in the larger scheme of things, I'm not able to get a better sense of how different is it to slide a 200-pound gate versus open up a 100-pound gate. The look and feel, unless I am able to touch it, feel it, I don't think I can. I have a very concrete information, but when just by my gut feel, it feels to me that sticking with the original 200-pound gate with the wheel support might still end up being a better option. Someone was mentioning or replacing that with a 100-pound with no wheel support. What it warps, and as someone else said, not my original idea, I still feel that sticking with the 200-pound gate with a wheel support and saving $9,000 is a better option. But again, Andy D said this is one man's input.
Yeah, I agree with you, Prabhu. I haven't been sold yet on it. That's why I was asking Beth what she thought, but if it's on a wheel and it has a mechanism, it must have been built to be able to handle the swing back and forth by a person. I don't know about that. It's just, it's hard for me to envision. And
Is
it
that
is a
gate-
good amount of price.
Is
Money.
it already built?
The original
heavy
gate-
The original is.
It is, yeah. It's on
So
site.
we're good with that. It's just that we want to spend more money for a new gate that's lighter. That's the question. Stick
Right.
with the old, built and paid for, or buy new lighter.
Correct.
Lisa?
So for me, I'm as, thirsty as they come, but I'm looking at the potential of the floor needing to be replaced. That is going to be much more than $9,000 because it's marble. So that's what I'm doing. I'm buying an insurance, by voting yes, I'm buying an insurance policy that we are preserving the floor for $9,000 instead of potentially buying something that 3 years from now, Beth's going to have to go and justify something in the, capital funding mechanism to get the floor replaced at 5 times this. So I'm totally with you guys. I understand the concern, but for me, it's buying an insurance policy for under 10 grand.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you there, but I think I heard last time that Julie was saying that the marble is through, so that there might be some Mars, but it wouldn't show all the way through, or what do you think?
I
Julie?
don't know. In theory, it's a porcelain tile. Is that right, Ron?
Yes, it's a
And
porcelain
it's a
tile.
through color. So,
through color.
you know,
Do we have extra?
I don't know because I haven't seen this instance, right? So all of us are speculating as to
Yep.
what it will be like. Even with the 200-pound door, you know, it's designed with a piano hinge, which is this continuous hinge. So that makes it won't feel 200 pounds
Right.
in theory, or it won't feel 100 pounds in theory. So, but since we haven't seen one installed, it's hard to know what
Yeah.
will happen.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
Is the mounting mechanism the same? Like, can we put the current one on there with the wheel and use it for a while? And if it looks like it's not going to work, then get rid of that and stick the 100-pound one on. I mean, assuming the mounting mechanism is all the same.
The hinge is the same. The hinge was specified and designed for the heavier weight, as was the wheel. The wheel supports 300 to 500 pounds.
Mark or Andy, do you think that we'll never get the contractor back to do another door if we had to?
Honestly, he's saying now because this is an old issue. This issue first came up when the door was delivered to the site and was unpacked and we said collectively, wow, this thing weighs a lot. Now CTA is off the site, the staff are in, and we're asking them to, whichever direction we ask them to go in, it's going to be more of a pain for them than anything because they don't have anybody on site anymore. Even if we just say, go back and do what was originally specified, they're going to say, I wish you told me that 9 months ago when I had people there. But if the door is installed and it's not functioning correctly 3 months from now, 9 months from now, then it could be a warranty issue in which they're obligated to come back.
Mhm.
So you've got some coverage for a year for installation. But there might be some goodwill lost if we stretch this out for too much longer.
In theory, you know, if you were to put the door that's on site, install that now, and you change your mind down the road, it doesn't necessarily need to be CTA that provides the new door.
Correct.
Right.
You can do it outside of this contract by hiring directly a mill worker and have it installed.
Yep.
That would, I don't know where material prices are going between now and then as they continue to increase. But in theory, you know, down the road, going directly to a mill worker, you would at least save the overhead and profit of a general contractor.
That is true. However, the money is here now and will not be here in the future. So
Well, that's the other side of the coin. Yeah.
Okay, that was going to be another question. Is there a way that you can, but that's going to get eaten up by something else. Okay, so Andy, I guess I lean to you. You think it's still worth the $9,000 to go ahead with this new design? You think it's going down the road? You do.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I wish
All
it was half that, but it's not. But I think it's worth it.
Okay. Well, you've been spot on so far. So.
Well, thanks.
All right. Are we ready to vote? All right. Vote by roll call. Beth.
Aye.
Sorry, can you repeat the motion? The motion is to go for the new, to spend the 9,300.
Correct.
Yeah.
$9,296.03.
Lisa.
Aye.
Prabhu.
No.
Doug.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Andy.
Aye.
And I'm going to go aye. Okay, it's passed.
And we'll keep the
Declare the
old
motion
door
carried.
in a storage area or something, so just in case we've got it. Beth, will that be stored
Like
somewhere?
storage area. There's no storage areas.
The old
On the barn
mechanical
across the
room,
street.
the mechanical room, that old brick mechanical room, is
Yeah,
that
there-
it?
Yeah, there's stuff stored in it. We'll do our best. to
Well,
keep it
this
up.
is like $10,000 I don't
Yeah,
want thrown
I
away.
know,
The
but-
town has a great record of
Yeah.
stuff just getting heaved that shouldn't be.
You can go in the attic, 200 pounds up that stairway.
I'll help you carry it.
Okay, the next one
Okay.
is, PCO number 123, and this has gone back and forth a few times. But this is the carpet in Beth's office. At one point, we discussed it in this context, and then at one point, it went outside of CTA's contract. And if it was going to be pursued, it'd be pursued through the Friends or through Capital. But now we had CTA formally submit a proposal. It's 3,992.89. Ron and I both feel it's a good number, and we've still got them engaged. And with the financial, the cleaning house that we've done recently, and we found some, not found some money, but we got some money potentially to allocate to this. We wanted to bring it up formally again to the committee. So this is to take the carpet out of room 216 and make it match to the carpet next door in room 217.
Does somebody want to start off with a motion?
So 216 is Beth and 217 is,
Administrative.
so just like the little ante room. And
Oh,
was
it's a
this,
pretty big room.
but
so-
it's, you go into the 16 to get into Beth's office. You can't get into Beth's office without going through.
Correct.
And this is that we picked the carpet this way initially.
We did, I mean, we signed off on it as a group, or as the color committee made that recommendation upwards, but somewhere in the sauce, Beth's opinion got lost, and ultimately, I don't know if this carpet in this room 216 was incorrectly shown, and then we approved it as a group, and nobody picked it up until it was installed. Something of that nature happened, and this is where we are.
So the original wish was that for Beth to have the carpet in the admin office and her office be the same. And we're just trying to get to that.
Yes, and that carpet was different than the other office carpets.
Okay, so we're just trying to make it all match.
Correct.
Okay.
And with the amount of, with the proposal that we got, Ron and I both thought it was a good number. And it might be worth acting on now. As Andy mentioned, we've got the money now. And if you wanted to do this in 6 months or 9 months outside of this contract, it would, I think, cost more of this, and it would just be a pain. We've got CTA with us still. So I'd recommend doing this proposal.
I move to accept the contract to replace the carpet in 216.
Yes.
Somebody want to second that?
I'll second so we can move into.
Second.
Okay, so discussion, does anybody have any comments or questions?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't follow. What was the cost for this?
$3,992.89.
Thank you.
Lisa?
I'm gonna be a no for this because it's $4,000. I'm sorry. It's just a visual thing, and there's no utility behind it. So I'm gonna be a no. Sorry, Beth.
Andy?
I was
Andy,
gonna,
Jay?
I was gonna ask similar, you know, I don't know if we have a visual of the two rooms, or if somebody could tell me a little more about what the difference between the two carpets are, so I can better understand the request.
The issue really is that I had asked if I could have carpeting from the children's or teen room, the blue and green or the purple and red, and was told adamantly, no, all offices are getting the blue. It looks like corduroy almost. It's like a two-tone blue variegated carpet. And I said, okay, that's fine. I can live with that. And then I made the furniture upholstery selections based on the carpet that I was told would be in my office to match 217. And what happened was the carpet that got laid in the room is the gray carpet that's outside in the adult space. So it's not aesthetic. And it is frustrating to feel not heard and not listened to throughout the project. And that's why I requested that if we could afford to change it, if we could please change it so that it matches the upholstery and the furnishings in the room and the office directly adjacent. It's pretty visually jarring.
So
go
the,
from the blue to the gray.
217 office has the blue.
Yes. And my office has the gray that's throughout the adult space on the second floor.
I think we should fix, I mean, we've done a lot of these little fixes that we wanted one thing and something else happened.
Yeah.
And it's $4,000. I don't like $4,000 either, but I also don't feel like this is such a huge amount that we can't do it. And we have been doing these, and we're going to have to do more of these, I think, you know, that to do it right. And unfortunately, we have to do it. We just have to bite the bullet on it.
Beth, do you have any correspondence or anything? I mean, can the team help out at all? Does it, you know, Mark, is it anything that we can share with CTA, or do you remember these conversations?
So I think the conversations that were had were internal to the color committee. And then eventually a sign-off document was sent to CTA with all the finishes, and they're just going by that final document. And somewhere between conversation and the final document, this office was changed or inadvertently not changed. And so we have what we told CTA to give us. It's not an issue on their end, it's an issue internally.
Okay. Andy J.
I realize what you said about, you know, getting a good quote on this. Is it something that we have to vote on tonight in order to, you know, get this rate and get this price? Is it something that we could move maybe a little bit later? I know we don't have too much time until everything's wrapped up, but something that we could push off to see if maybe we free up a little additional budget. I know we've freed some up, but I don't know. I'm trying to be as objective as possible, but I feel like I wouldn't want to vote on this tonight. I'd rather try and get down to the library and see it for myself before making a decision.
I mean, we're scheduled to meet in 2 weeks, I think on the 7th. And at that point, if depending on the movement on, I think there's 2 other PCOs to talk about tonight. We should be pretty well done with PCOs, and the budget should be more or less caught up. So if you wanted to table it for 2 weeks, I don't think that's going to change anything.
My concern is that this is like at town meeting. We'll spend a half an hour on $5,000, but we'll vote $10 million in 10 seconds. This is something that's going to make Beth happy. It's going to make the people in her office happy. Beth has worked hard on this. I think this is a very small thing that we can do that should have been done the first time, that I'm not going to harangue on why it didn't happen, but let's just do it, because let's not waste any more time on $4,000. This is a simple request. Let's get it done. Let's get the library. Let's be able to be finished on this.
Lisa?
I hope that Beth stays our director forever, but that might not be the case, you know, so I am not inclined, even though it's only $4,000, John, I'm not inclined to spend $4,000 on something that's not broken, that needs to be fixed, right? Like, so I'm still a no. I'm sorry, John.
No, that's okay. It's like, I just hate to spend so much time on such a small amount of money.
Well, I think the people of Grafton are probably happy that we spend as much time as we do thinking and having discussion about every single penny. I mean, $4,000 is somebody's, tax bill. Like that's, that's our job.
Yeah, and the gate, we just spent $9,000 on that with a gate that we already had. So, I mean, I think that a lot of things are gonna come up. I like the idea that Andy J had, that we table it until the 2-week mark and at our next meeting. So it gives us a chance to just take a look. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna change people's mind, because it's Beth's feeling on it. So what do people want to just vote tonight, or do you want to just wait?
I mean, I don't
I
mind
like to
waiting.
go with Andy's. Go ahead. Finish your
Sorry,
thought.
ditto. I don't mind waiting 2 weeks because I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Okay.
Same here.
Okay. So Mark, we're gonna table that one.
Yep,
Please.
that's fine. Yep.
Should someone withdraw the motion? Is that how this should work?
Was a motion made?
Yes, we have a motion that was made by you, John.
Oh, I
Andy-
did.
Yeah,
So
and Andy seconded it. So,
I
Yeah.
second it.
yeah, how do we do this, I guess? Do we just withdraw the motion?
I can withdraw the motion if that's what you need.
I don't know what I need, I guess is my question.
I think I can. I'll withdraw the motion.
Okay.
Next up is, and Ron, maybe you can help me with this. If you remember talking about the humidifier for the historical room. And we went back and forth, and this was a big one, $19,000 plus, but we
Oh.
decided as a group to leave everything. Beth just said, you know what, half of it's been in my office for this long, forget it, just leave it there, just finish, please go away. Which I certainly get. So the issue is, so we went back to CTA and said, just finish what you started, and let's wrap this thing up. The issue is that there is going to still need some additional work that's ductwork related, mechanical related. It's certainly not going to cost $19,000. We don't have a formal proposal on it. So Ron, I don't know if we just get the committee, an acknowledgement from the committee that there's going to be some additional costs, and we can tell CTA to move forward with it, or what are your thoughts on this one?
I would prefer to have CTA come back with a revised proposed change order.
Okay.
My concern is that in the last meeting, when we explained to CTA that the unit was going to stay where it is, and they needed to complete the work, but they needed to extend the duct by 2 feet. His offhand comment was, well, it might just be the same amount of money that's already in the PC in the PCO, and I don't want to give them a go ahead, not knowing what they're going to come back with, because the prices, although some of these prices have been coming back reasonable, some of them have been coming back relatively high.
Well, this one too includes veterans is the main character in this one, and we're having an issue with veterans right now, so that's fine.
Exactly.
So we can, so just to give the committee a heads up that we want to move forward with this. This should be substantially reduced in cost, but we'll wait
I'm
for the
hoping.
formal PCO. So Ron, let's try to get that before we meet again as a group in 2 weeks. And then
Yes.
maybe we can wrap that up. Okay.
I have a question. If the dehumidifier was supposed to be installed as part of the original contract, right? What are we changing? Because I thought Beth said, just go ahead and do it, leave it the way it is. What are we changing that would incur additional cost?
So what happened, and this is a gross generalization, but where the equipment was supposed to go, it could not go. And so where it ended up is in Beth's office. And to install it where it sits is going to require some mechanical adjustments, basically. So where CTA has now been directed to install it is not where it showed to be installed. If we were able to physically install it where it was originally shown, there would be no cost, but mechanically we couldn't. So it had to be adjusted. And this all came up about it was actually with due diligence from the trades in the field and the manufacturer saying, hey, you can't put this here because this won't work the way you need it. You need X amount of feet. And when we added that X amount of feet, it ended up in Beth's office.
So is it not the engineers that needs to eat this?
It was and Ron, I don't want to speak for you, but it was a collective, I guess, discussion between the installer and the manufacturer. And there were 3 or 4 people who looked at it and collectively said, if you can fit this 20 feet away from where we showed and find a spot that makes everybody happy, we recommend putting it there. So that's how we ended up where we are.
This might not be a significant change because John is correct. Part of this installation is already in the base cost.
Right.
And that's what I want CTA to come back with was, okay, what do you need? What do you really need to complete the work? Because this proposed change order was for moving it again, putting it above the ceiling and all the associated work. So I'm hoping that there's minor changes to the piping or electrical wiring, if any, to just complete the work where it sits.
Okay.
So we'll come back. We'll try to get that formal PCO. I'll reach out to CTA tonight after the meeting and see if we can get that formal PCO. And that should be the last PCO that this committee has to act on.
Okay.
The last one for tonight is...
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Doug had a question?
Oh, sorry. Doug.
No, I'm going to skip it.
Okay. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
The last one for tonight is, let me find it.
124.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my...
Sorry.
Is 124, and these are power hinges at the power operated exterior doors. And so basically what happened was on the electrical drawings, power was shown to go to these areas, but on the hardware, in the hardware schedule and the specifications, the hinges were not called to be basically electrified hinges. They were just standard hinges. So we had to change the hinges to receive the electrical power, to allow the doors to open when you hit the handicap button, and everything's working correctly now. And CTA moved forward with the work in good faith. And this is $1,865.07. So the work's all been done, but it hasn't been formally acted upon by this committee.
Okay.
And you and Andy both agreed that that's a reasonable price and all that.
Yes, this is it's just a straight hardware. It was, $1,600 of hardware and then $200 of markup from CTA. So I thought it was fine.
Okay. Lisa?
I make a motion that we approve PCO number 124 in the amount of $1,865.07.
Somebody want a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Who was
Vote
that?
by,
Was that
Doug.
Doug? Thank you.
vote by roll call. Beth?
Aye.
Lisa?
Aye.
Prabhu?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
John?
No.
Julie?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
And Mary, aye. I
For
declare the
the
motion
door, I
carried.
just feel like it should have been designed right. And that's what I don't get is like, if it's designed right, we pay for it. If the carpet is supposed to be put in, we still have to pay for it. So,
But if it's
that's-
not on the contract drawings, so if it's not on the electricals drawing, then you didn't pay for it. You paid
No,
for
but
the
I'm saying that
hinges,
it
but you
should-
didn't pay for.
we paid for somebody to design it the right way is what I'm saying. Right? That's my concern.
And in theory, that amount would have been into the base contract anyway. I understand what you're saying, John. The reality is, it would have been a cost to the project regardless.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's it, Mary.
Great.
As far as, so we tabled Beth's carpet. We'll look at that in 2 weeks. We'll try to get a quote on the humidifier for 2 weeks. And then between now and 2 weeks, we will have, we'll have 2 job meetings, and we're down to, 6 or 8 punch list items. So, ideally, fingers crossed, we could say in 2 weeks, all punch list work is done and we respond to the 2 open PCOs. And, I don't know if we'll get there, but the open punch list items, there aren't anything that people are drawing a line in the sand and saying, we're not going to do that. The biggest issue hanging over everybody is veterans work, who we've directed to basically just do the work. We think it's contractually owned and you have to do it. So if they play ball, then we'll be in good shape. If not, then that's probably what we're going to be talking about in 2 weeks.
Okay, great. Does anybody have anything else before we conclude? Just one thing, I had sent out the conflict of interest form to everybody today. If you could just sign that and send it back to me, that would be great, so I could get it off to the town clerk.
Do you not want to
Appreciate
send it to you directly? I mean, don't want us to send it to the clerk directly? You'd rather have it to you?
She wants it bundled and
Okay.
sent to her.
What a
Andy, you
pain.
didn't pick your
Thank
one.
you for doing that.
Yeah,
Is it only the building committee that has to sign that, or do?
correct, yeah.
Okay, so we don't need
Yeah.
to sign that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Andy J, did you not get it?
No, I did. There was the only one thing I want to ask, and again, not trying to further make a mountain out of a molehill. With with COVID and everybody's comfortability levels, and seemingly a lot of interest in the difference between the carpets, does it make sense for us to all go visit, or is it something that maybe somebody goes and grabs a picture and shares with the group? Is there something that's going to be easier for everybody, or is everybody looking to get out of their house and go see it in person?
Library's open 60 hours a week. Go anytime you want.
Yeah, that's fine. If I'm there, Andy, I could send you a picture. But yeah, I think we'll just, everybody can just do their field trip on their own and see what they think of it. Other than that, next meeting is on February 7th.
Yep.
7th at 6 o'clock via Zoom. So it is 6:50.
So I will make a
And-
motion to adjourn at 6:50.
Second.
Okay, vote by roll call. Beth,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Prabhu,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Andy.
Aye.
And Mary, aye. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for meeting.